Hey, what's going on, everyone? I wonder how many people picked up that hauntingly beautiful bit at the end there. Oh, man, gotta love that OST, especially when the voice come in towards the end there. For those who didn't catch it, you can kind of go back a little bit because, whew, goosebumps. Goosebumps all over. All right. So, people, today there's a couple things we need to go after. Where the chat went? Okay, today we need to go over a couple things. Mainly, I want to go over Ayaka. Some questions that I've gotten. I decided to kind of bulk them up together, answer during the live stream. I might make a video about it if we kind of go a little too in depth, and also talk a little about Genshin 2.7, the delay, because of course, with me being Chinese, people have started asking me, "Oh, Walrus, I heard 2.7 is gonna be delayed. Is that real? Like, how bad is it in China?" But I live in Canada. but I do have relatives who live in China, and I have been asking them, especially in Shanghai, that's where HoYoVerse's headquarters are. So there is grounds for concern, but we'll talk about that and what I think. Of course, I'm not out here saying I have news. I don't have somebody at MiHoYo's headquarters feeding me this information, all right? But I'm just gonna give you guys my 2 cents, and from what I've heard from my relatives who lives in China, in Shanghai, what's going on over there, and give you guys a heads up, essentially. All right. So that's pretty much what we're going to be covering today. Of course, we have an account review as well, but we'll save that for a little bit later in the stream. I want to start addressing some of these questions, right? Flowcat coming in with the 2. I see people were saying like, Flowcat, you just ended stream. I just came back from the outside, so I wasn't able to catch up. Probably will have to go watch the VOD. Says sup, Walrus and chat, like the stream. Yeah, like the stream, people. Like the stream. We're going to be going over quite a bit today. All right. Remserp says, hope everything in China will be all right. Like, things are okay.
The Flowcat just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Sup, Walrus and chat C, like the stream.
The thing with China is that they take action really fast, and with the political party and the structure of it, while people from the West may view it as like, oh, you know, the citizens suffer from a lack of freedom, but what they get in exchange is they deal with these kind of problems extremely fast and very efficiently. Yes, albeit at the cost of people's freedoms, but at the end of the day, in a couple of months, maybe like even within the month, before the month ends, things might just go back to normal. Like, you guys probably don't really know, but like, people in China has they pretty much forgotten the virus even exists for the past year and a half. Like they've been just living life like normal, and that's all thanks to with the first outbreak, how fast and efficient the government acted. Right, they did a ton of stuff to make sure things are in order. They forced people into lockdown, which in the West, that's never going to happen. It'll never happen, right? So, but in China, they did that, and essentially they kept it under control. That's the thing with China right now. So what's going on is like it's forced. And it's not the entirety of Shanghai. So people keep thinking like, oh, it's like Shanghai on lockdown. Is everything just closed? No. It's different sections, right? They are taking different sections of Shanghai, especially with known outbursts and a virus detected. They lock those areas down. So, truth be told, HoYoverse could be non-affected, like at all. Like this could completely just, and people nowadays, whenever we get news for Genshin, we have to be really careful, right? How much of it is actual news and important updates, as opposed to just, I don't want to like say it like this, but it's just clickbait, like view phishing. You know what I mean? I don't want to kind of devalue what people like these kind of concerns, but I'm just saying, like, at a time like this, Genshin content is very far and few between. Even the most consistent content creators are resorting to some very like how would you say it, like low effort content. I mean, I say low effort, but it's just like there's nothing to do. What are we like really gonna do? So of course news like this are gonna come out when HoYoverse's HQ is based in Shanghai, and also Shanghai is in lockdown. So something that's very clickbaity could be like patch 2.7 is potentially delayed. Wow, right? So at the end of the day, how much of it is true? We don't really know. From what I've heard, from my relatives who live in Shanghai, who are literally there, it's not that bad, all right? Areas are on lockdown, but like it's not like the entire city is gone. Like, but there are definitely places that are just sealed off. Like people can't leave. They got like, if you guys don't know, what they do is they come to your house, they put like a tape at like a paper tape at your door. And next time they come by, if that paper tape is ripped, it means you've opened your door, and then you can get penalized for that. Most cases you get both fined and jail time, I believe. So
Sassy Lay 7 just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Can we get you on the next podcast, Walrus?
Lay 7, of course, no problem. Like if you guys want to do a podcast, I'll be there. Just let me know when, and I'll make sure to make the time for that. Yeah, I would love to. I really enjoy your podcast that you guys do. Yeah, so like do you guys know how they, yeah, so going back to my point with the thing, they put a piece of paper on your door. So it's very cheap. It's like tape, right? It's paper tape. They just tape it on the outside of your door. You don't even hear it. They'll tape it on. And like, of course, this is after the mandate, like to stay at home has started. They'll tape it on. And then if they come back the next day and it's ripped, means you open the door. And yeah, penalties can depend. Sometimes it could be fine, sometimes it could be jail time, sometimes both. All right, so that's how they do it, and they do it for everyone in the compound. The next time they come, they'll deliver you vegetables and food, and then they'll remove the tape so you can open the door, and then they'll put another one on after you collected everything, and then they'll leave. So I don't know if it's confirmed, but yeah. Booster is asking, how do you get groceries if you can't open the door? So yeah, that's what I said. Like next time they come around, they'll deliver you groceries, right? Then they'll let you open the door, and then they'll retape it. So that's how it's done. Because it's a very cheap method, right? It's not mechanical. It's just a piece of paper with some glue on the other side. So they just keep doing it to you. And that's why, like, the whole city, it's not like the whole city is on lockdown, people. It's not as severe. Are the delays official? No, I haven't heard anything like concrete about the delays. People have been starting to talk about it. I don't know where people are getting this information from, like, but I definitely had people starting DMing me regarding the delays, which I'm a little, like, not gonna lie, I am a little worried, and I know that it's grounded in reality, right? The HVK is asking, Walrus, have you lived in China in the past? You know so much about it. Yeah, I grew up in China. I spent the first half of my life in China. Of course, I know I know about China. That's why when people when I talk about this stuff, like people come and say shit like oh, like you like, guys, don't listen to Walrus. He lives in Canada. He doesn't even know, like, but like, bro, I've lived in China for half of my life. I still have family over in China. I visit the place every couple years. I go back, and I talk to people like every other day almost. Like my dad's over there. He has work over there. So it's like, and he just doesn't like it in the West, so he stays in China. He's always in China. So like, when I say I have family there, like literally it's my like direct family. It's not like my fifth distant relative cousin. It's like my flesh and blood living in China right now in this very moment, right? My mom flies back and forth, and yeah, I know a lot about what's going on in China, the politics, how people are living, the state of the country, policies. Both my parents used to work for what do you call those, advertisement agencies, distribution companies in China. So I know a lot about what do you call those, like requirements for creative writing, what like legislations that prohibit certain types of content. And even till today, like nowadays, I know what's updated, what's allowed to be written and passed on as creative works, and what's not. Like all restrictions that are put on TV and film versus like light novels and short novels, like internet novels and stuff like that. I know everything. So that's why, like, I've made entire streams dedicated to talking about certain restrictions. And when people talk about China and how like Hoyo versus story is, like, there are restrictions.
Damn, that's hot. Is it okay to ask, how did you get to Canada?
Yeah, okay. So the story with how I ended up in Canada is that back in the like 1970s, was it? I don't remember. Yeah. I was born in like 1960 something, right? So, oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, 1960 something. Yeah. So, oh, no. Wait, was it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I forgot. I need to go check my birth certificate. So my family came here essentially as investant immigrants. So we came here, oh my goodness, it must have been like 40 years ago. So yeah, so we came here towards the end of the what's it called in English? The artistic revolution, the cultural revolution in China. So what ends up happening was like we needed to get out, right? So our family decided, well, our goal was never to expand and look for opportunities, because at the time, my family was pretty well off. We were doing okay for ourselves. So we wanted to go to a country that was safe. That's like what we cared about. Like we could have went to the States if we were looking for more opportunities. We wanted to grow, and our whole family was coming over, maybe like move our business over. But that's not what we were looking for, right? Back in the day, we were looking for a safe place. So like we were considering like European countries. We were considering like at like Canada, pretty much like European countries and Canada, some certain European countries. So like at the end of the day, we decided like Canada was a good fit, and because even back then, my parents were really into real estate. And you guys know this, right? And you guys know with Chinese people, they're really into land. And like Jason Leon says, 文化大革命. Yeah, like towards the end of that. So when was it? So it's 1976, people. 1976. Because I don't remember exactly when, but I know it was like towards the end.
Lay 7
right?
just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Chat, did this guy just say he was born in the 1960s? WTH Walrus, you look good for your age, bro.
1976. Moonlight is like, Walrus, are you discussing the issue that I sent yesterday? Yep, I'm talking about that right now. And we're kind of going off on a tangent with like my story of how I came to Canada. So my parents wanted a place to move to where both we can be safe as a family, as well as take some of the money we had at the time and invest it into real estate. And man, did that pay off. And man, did that pay off. I think the best decision we've ever made as a family was invest in Canadian real estate, especially Vancouver real estate. That, like, dude, you guys, so like, you guys know if you, like back in the 1980s, because that's when we kind of settled, right? 1980s. Dude, houses here, like a full, beautiful brand new home was like 40K. 40K, baby. Dude, oh my god. It's like, thinking back, what a great move, right? But that's the gist of why we moved to Canada, how I ended up in Canada. My family was literally just looking for a place to kind of feel safe. Yeah, the same place. Flowcat's like, damn, that's cheap. The same place that you bought for 40K is going for like 1.4 mil. 1.5 mil. Right? So I'm just telling you guys. Hey, like, it doesn't matter what you invest in at the time. You won't be beating this kind of returns. I mean, there's a couple investments. All right, let's be real. There are a couple investments that you could have invested in back in the 1980s that could have yielded you this kind of return, right? So Utena says that you guys must be rich now. Like, well, my parents are very well off, right? Like they've done the hard work. They've done everything they need to, so they can enjoy a peaceful retirement. I mean, they've been retired for like like pretty much they've done everything. And I work as a real estate agent, right? So I literally can sit here and spit facts for the past 40 years of the Canadian real estate market. So I can project to the forward for my clients. That's part of what I do for a living. And I love hearing stories from my parents of what happened when they first moved here. And that's kind of what got me started on this to begin with. Right? So that's the story of why, like, how I ended up in Canada, which, you know, I think it isn't that interesting, but, you know, yeah, if people are interested, that's the story. So I saw another question earlier. I can't find it anymore, but I swear I saw it. I swear I'm not just like bringing this up out of nowhere. I need to find it first so people don't be like, yo, Walrus, what you gotta... Oh, yeah. It's by... Oh, it's a Korean name. One moment. Let me just type that into Google Translate so we can actually pronounce it together. It says Akali, Ari, Kali, and Ari.
Akali esperluet ali Akali esperluet ali.
Wait, was that Korean? Okay, fine. But yeah, they're asking, Walrus, this might be controversial, but do you hate Hong Kong or Taiwan? I don't hate anybody, right? Like, hey, here's a better answer to that question. My girlfriend is Japanese. So do I care about, the history and everything? I know it. It's not that I'm ignorant to it. I know what happened and I know what's going on, but I don't hate it. I don't find it in my, because none of them have ever wronged me in any ways, right? I don't have any prejudice, nor do I have any sort of strong patriotic beliefs towards, my country of origins. I don't feel any, like, at the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way and stand with, Hong Kong or Taiwan, because I don't truly know everything, right? So I can truly say I'm just a neutral bystander among all this, because I spent a good chunk of my life in China and then I moved to the West, which in a way, of course, I'm going to be influenced, right, by Western beliefs. So I'm like, I don't know the whole picture, is what I'm saying. So in a way, it's a very sensitive topic for sure. So I don't want to comment on it really much. But yeah, but I don't harbor any sort of ill will towards people of Hong Kong, people of Taiwan. So yeah. And yeah, like I said, I have a Japanese girlfriend. So do I really care about all the political history and all that stuff? Like, nope, not at all. Jason Leon says some Chinese hate Japanese even now, but Chinese like anime. Like, I think a lot of this is also due to my parents being very open-minded. Like, my parents never taught me to hate. They've never, in a sense, brainwashed me to think bad of these people. They've always taught me to keep my mind open, keep a critical mind, because this world is polluted with very extremist beliefs and opinions, and sometimes those opinions are passed on as facts, which could be very dangerous and toxic. But they've also told me that living the life that I'm living right now, A, I'm very privileged, and B, I'm walking down a hard path because most people want things to be black and white. Right? Most people want things to be as simple as black and white. They don't want to talk about, like, this is kind of going back to what I said in my previous stream, is that my parents taught me to be critical, to be able to think for myself. But at the same time, they told me that this is going to be a hard path to take, because you're going to meet a lot of people who has never once in their life done this, and they find it very odd, and they find it weird that I'm not like taking a stance, right? For example, for me to take a stance and stand with the, people of the mainland China or Taiwan or Hong Kong, it's weird to people that I'm taking this neutral stance. To some people, I'm just like, oh, you're just, taking the easy way out. But it's because I don't truly understand. I'm not a professional, right? I don't study this, that I choose to take this neutral stance, because for a topic like politics, it can be very hurtful to people.
HBK just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Respect to you for talking about this, Walrus. Appreciate knowing this stuff. Adds a lot of context.
Thank you. I mean, I'm just answering questions, and since we're on the topic of Genshin, because this is like kind of like taking a tangent from the whole question of Genshin 2.7 delayed. But yeah, that's how I truly think, and a lot of the time I will be left in paralysis. You guys, how many of you guys watch what's that anime called, Jujutsu Kaisen? You guys know what happens when Gojo Satoru does his Ryoiki Tenkai, his domain expansion? Like, you get so much information, you end up freezing, right? So because I would like to think of myself as a critical thinker, which means like I always try to think about things from different perspectives. Oftentimes I'm so overloaded, I just end up either A, not giving my opinion, or B, I freeze and don't know what to say. So that's kind of like what I end up dealing with for the most part. Like, I disagree with my parents on a lot of things as well. But they know that because they've taught me to be a critical thinker, that's what they're going to have to end up dealing with. We're not going to always align. Like, they don't brainwash me into thinking exactly like how they do. They don't push their hopes and dreams onto me, which I'm very grateful for. But at the same time, what ends up happening is like I have a lot of things that I I don't agree with. Kwang Bei says I'm more of a critical drinker. That's a good one. So the Rika is saying, is it confirmed version 2.7 will be delayed? It is not confirmed. We were talking about this. The biggest contributor to the concern of this is that Shanghai is currently in partial lockdown. The city, right? So HoYoverse has their HQ based in Shanghai. So that's where people have been like, oh, you know, like they're heavily affected and 2.7 might be delayed. This is not a Genshin stream anymore. Exactly. It's not a Genshin stream anymore. But I think as these topics come up, it's best to just talk about them so you guys know like where I'm coming from, why am I like this, and going forward, what to expect. I'm very opinionally charged.
7 just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. This is not a Genshin stream anymore lol.
Bethar says, still here just doing some domain farming. It sounds like you have a good situation with your family, which is great. Yep. We talk pretty much every other day. I know to some people that's like not that weird. But to some Chinese families, like when Chinese people grow independent, it's very often they only visit their parents during, you know, like holidays, or because Chinese parents, for the most part, have such a strong bearing on their children to the point where the children oftentimes feels oppressed, right? So when the second they get the opportunity to, like they make enough money, they can be independent, they just move away, they leave. So for the most part, people like for me to talk to my parents every other day feels weird to some people, but you know, we have a good connection. Yeah. Alex Chung says, the past few years, my dad has been brainwashed by the Chinese media in Australia and social media. Autoplay likes to indoctrinate him to be pro-China. Well, that's the thing, right? People like and you people, like everybody in chat as well right now. This is not controversial and it's not a conspiracy. If you guys think Chinese authority is only restricted within China, you would be making a huge mistake. You guys wouldn't believe, like some of you probably can't believe how much control the Chinese media has over like just everything in general, right? I'm not saying everything, but it's just like they have a huge grasp on Western media and influence as well that most of you guys aren't even aware of. And of course, they're not dumb enough to brand themselves as Chinese propaganda, media, but they will mask themselves as local media at times. It's weird. It's scary, but it is the world that we live in. So be really careful what sources you consume and how you like credit check, or be very careful what you believe in is what I'm trying to say here. All right, like if you guys are after the truth, like I keep saying, the truth is always somewhere in the middle most of the time. No, I'm gonna say always. All right, the truth is always somewhere in the middle, and it takes a lot of effort nowadays to kind of get a very clear picture of what the truth is. And truth at this point is such like a lingo, right? It's like a mojo word. It's hard to achieve. So I think at this point we just kind of have to live with what we're comfortable with without making it difficult for others. Right? That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter if what you believe in is really the truth or not the truth, as long as you're just living your life, you're not making being a nuisance to other people, and hopefully others aren't being a nuisance to you. I'd say you're living a fine life. Nebulous77 says, I reject your reality and substitute my own, which is a great way to live. I think finding what you like, essentially what you're like, what we're saying, like, just find what's important to you and live towards that. All right. Don't let other things influence you too much. You can, of course, as long as, like, if you want to feel like you're a part of a big group, of course, that's no problem. Nobody is saying you cannot. But if you just do what you like without, in the process, hurting other people, nobody's gonna bat an eye. All right. V Inc is asking Genshin related question. Do you think they'll release a cryo husbando soon? If so, what weapon do you think? I don't think they're gonna really touch cryo for the meantime. I think we're gonna be looking at definitely Dendro, and I don't know, because what, like, I'm really hoping some electro units start, some more electro units start introducing themselves, especially with how we're hoping that Dendro is going to make adjustments to the balancing of the elements, right? I don't think we're really in need of a cryo character as of now, although cryo characters are always welcome. But I don't think so. I think Dendro is gonna be like the main one, and then maybe an electro healer of some sort. I'm just saying, all right. Jean for Anemo, right? For Geo, who can heal? Geo, like Goro C4 can heal, and Noelle can heal. Is there a dedicated Geo healer? I don't think so, right? Yeah, don't think so. I mean, Zhongli C6 can also heal. They have some constellations there that works. And then, of course, Hydro has a ton, Kokomi, Barbara. Cryo has Chi-Chi, has Diona. Am I missing one in Cryo? Pyro has Bennett. Yeah, so like the only element, my point here is the only element that really needs a healer still is Electro. Right? And Geo, I guess. So Picky says Kuki Shinobi is going to be an Electro healer sword. I would hope so. All right, I would hope so. If that character comes out and is an Electro healer, that would be great. Right? Every Catalyst user can heal with Prototype Amber. I guess you're right. You're right. I think currently for the upcoming patches, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on rebalancing. Noelle is a great healer, full power to heal based on defense. What you want, toy stack. What on defense, what you want to stack anyway. Sounds good to me. Yeah, Noelle is a solid unit, right? Overall, a very, very well-rounded character. So really just leaves Electro. I've been saying Electro buff, Electro buff, Electro buff, I think now for almost a year, if not more than a year. Walrus, what's your favorite Chinese dish? Braised pork with rice or Peking duck? I will have to go with Peking duck. The only reason I say that is because I can make braised pork with rice at home, but I can't make Peking duck at home. That's the only, that's the reason. Can't do it. Can't do it. Rick's son is saying, I'm playing Genshin right now. What do you think the new rule about having to use your real name for games for teen safety? I fully support. I fully support it. I fully support that that because that solves a couple problems, right? One of the problems for most games is the botting issue. If you guys know, there's much less botting issues in Asia, where they've like China, Korea. I don't know about Japan, maybe Japan, where they force you to register with ID for an account. But I don't think it's gonna pass in the legislature. I don't know how are they gonna enforce that in the West, but I think that would be a great move for people in general. It's gonna get rid of a lot of the bots, increase the quality of our gameplay for almost all the online games. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good move, but I don't think it's gonna be well received by people in the West for the most part. Especially the botters, they're gonna fucking come up with ways to rally people and say like, that's terrible, freedom, 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 when in fact they don't care about the freedom, they just care about their profits. Saying says, how are we going to reroll? Yeah, like it kind of kills reroll as well, right? It's like, I guess buying accounts are gonna good accounts are gonna skyrocket, but then again, those accounts are also linked to their like personal profile, so like I guess you can't even sell like you see, it's dealing with a lot of the problems, right? Chris is like, would you like the parry mechanic to be added to combat? I would, but then it kind of like defeats the purpose of Beto being Beto. That's how I'm feeling right now. If they were to add, I feel like the parry mechanic might be like something you can do to a future monster type, like a specific monster that can attack you in certain ways, and you have to parry their attacks. Like you could parry their attacks to deal damage to them. Let's say they have a shield, and it's like that reduces damage taken by 80% or something, or like increases defense or something. And after like 2 parries, you can like destroy their shield or take like 2-3 minutes to destroy their shield, right? And then you have to use parry if you want to kill them faster. And eventually those mobs make it into Abyss, then you really have to parry. And Beto's parry doesn't work in that regards, for example, right? So that's definitely something I can see, but to have it as a permanent thing in the game, I don't see it. Because they have to reprogram like hilichurls and lava churls and all that stuff. I don't think they're gonna bother with that. They'll just release it as a new type of monster. Togekill is asking, will they ever add a choose your standard 5-star character banner? I'm a 1.0 player and still don't have Chi-Chi or Mona. Probably not for the meantime. Probably not for the meantime. I don't think they're gonna do it, because look at how Hoyoverse, how would you call it? Like, look at where they're drawing value from, how they make money. They're still very very careful with how they distribute Primo Gems. So currently, right now, with how Hoyoverse is functioning, I would believe for the next year, and like maybe when we're in Natlan. Wait, what's the one after Natlan? Oh no, Natlan. Yeah, like maybe by the like right before Shiznaya. So Natlan, yeah. After Fontaine, maybe we'll see. So like 2 years from now, maybe we'll see a specific standard banner. So that's pretty much for the 2.7 delay. I hope I was clear enough. It's mostly right now just theory, right? Like it's just people finding something like, okay, like this is a problem in China and therefore, right, blah blah blah. But there have been no official news of 2.7 being delayed, and it makes sense because these patches are definitely made beforehand. The only thing they really need to do, like the last bit of work they need to do, is outsourcing for talent when it comes to voice acting, maybe finalizing some music scores, which a lot of it is outsourced as well, which like of course some are done locally with orchestras. That might, if that's the case, that might be delayed, but a lot of it is outsourced to other areas. Depending on what Sumeru is based on. people come again. What Inazuma was based on Japan, right? And Liyue was based on China. Like, what is Sumeru based on? Because they actually got Japanese orchestras and talents to perform bits. So, like, it's safe to assume if Sumeru is, for example, based in Egypt or India, right, or any specific areas, they're gonna hire local musicians, right, to make music for it. So it's something that we have to take into account. India and Egypt. Okay, so then, yeah, like, all this talent is going to be outsourced to, you know, people who can play those kind of traditional music. All right, let's listen. Actually, you know what? Since we're here, let's listen to the Sumeru theme. I love the Sumeru theme. What's that video called? Because they did a bit of it. No, it's not this one. Genshin Impact.
Sussy the Flowcat just applied
Trailer.
wet status. Damn, that's hot. Indian and Egyptian.
The god of contracts, sends
No.
the land of the immortal shogun. The Bakufu rules eternal.
Like, every time I feel like I feel like
But
stop.
what do mortals see of the eternity?
Okay, so every time I feel like, oh my goodness, I have to wait so long for the next region, I just come back and watch this. Because look, they literally took the Inazuma part of this music and they just developed it into a whole piece, right? So it's going to be the same for Sumeru. If you guys want to hear what Sumeru is going to sound like,
Chased after by their god.
it's going to be here. It's like the score
The
is...
god of wisdom's enemy is wisdom itself, and the oasis of
Oh,
knowledge
this is gonna
a
slap
rock
so
in the
hard.
desert of ignorance. In the city of scholars, there is a push for folly, yet the god of wisdom makes no argument against it.
Turn that shit up. Turn that shit up. All right, we gotta listen to that again. Listen to that again. Listen to how this music just slaps.
The god of wisdom's enemy is wisdom itself, and the oasis of knowledge is a mirage in the desert of ignorance. In the city of scholars, there is a push for folly, yet the god of wisdom makes no argument against it. The god...
There it is. All right, people. If you've ever felt weak waiting for Sumeru, just come watch this. And of course, the next this is Fontaine, right?
God of justice lives for the spectacle of the courtroom, seeking to judge all other gods. But even she knows not to make an enemy of the divine. The rules of war are woven in the womb. The victors shall burn bright, while the losers must turn to ash. When the god of war shares this secret with the traveler, it is because she has her reasons. She is a god with no love left for her people, nor do they have any left for her. Her followers hope only to be on her side when the day of her rebellion against the divine comes at last. In the
This is not the ruler of Shiznaya, right? Like, because they keep saying she, but this straight up looks like a clown. Like, I'm not like trying to meme or anything, but look at how this person's. Look at the shoes. Like, that's not the person they're talking about.
Just
This
applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Play this theme during the C6 Archon giveaway.
yeah. So we're gonna be playing the Sumeru theme, right, for the C6 giveaway. Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't think this is the person they're talking about in the trailer, right? That's not the queen or the ruler of Shiznaya. I think this is somebody else, because it doesn't look like how a ruler would be dressing. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, this doesn't look Like, where are the boobs? Like, knowing Hoyoverse, you think the same people who designed how like Yellen looks, how Eula looks, how Ganyu looks, how Shenhe looks, is gonna make the queen of an entire nation dress like this? Come on. Come on. Come on, chat. Come on. Let's be real here, alright? Let's be real. Where are the body tight spandex, like belly showing, like tight ass booty licking outfits? Like, this is not, you know, this, like, no. Alright? There's no way. It's probably like the queen's right hand man or something like that.
In the perpetual meantime of a sheltered eternity, most are content to live and not to dream. But in the hidden corners where the god's gaze does not fall, there are those who dream of dreaming. Some say a few are chosen and the rest are dregs. But I say we humans have our humanity. We will defy this world with a power from beyond. You will set foot in this world. Your journey has reached
Dainsleif mains. A rare breed of players. But yeah. Sumeru.
The god of wisdom's enemy is wisdom itself, and the oasis of knowledge is a mirage in the desert of ignorance. In the city of scholars, there is a push for folly.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't say enough about that trailer, alright? So, Sumeru, that's what I'm saying, right? A lot of the work that's being done for the future patches most likely are being outsourced. So even if Shanghai remains in lockdown for like a couple months, I don't think, for the most part, things are... Okay, here's the one thing that I'm worried about. If they still have like assets such as animations, artworks to be done, then I can see a delay. But that's mainly because I don't think a company as big as Hoyoverse is going to allow their employees to take the work and go home to work on it. Because then things can get leaked, right? It's not safe, right? Because a lot of this stuff could be worth to Hoyoverse potential millions, and any excessive leaks may influence those kind of sales. So that's what I'm worried about. But I'm not worried about 2.7 in the slightest. I think for the most part, 2.7 is done. Right, I think 2.7, like, if they wanted to launch 2.7 next week, they probably could. So, that's going to be a non-issue. 2.7 is not the issue here. The issue people should be concerned about is Sumeru. Because I think Sumeru is still in the works. A lot of the music is being outsourced. So, Riona is asking, do you really think it's being outsourced? A lot of the music is being outsourced. A lot of the voice acting is being outsourced, with exception to the Chinese voices, the Japanese, Korean, what else do they have? Like all the foreign, the English one, they're all being outsourced. Like, they're not flying Zach Aguilar to Shanghai, right? A studio in Shanghai to voice Ether. They'll have things done over here. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't impact the workflow as much as we would like to think. For the most part, the only things that, like I said previously, that I'm extremely worried about is if they have yet to finish certain character designs, ad set designs, renders for Sumeru, and right now the virus and the lockdown might be influencing their workflow. That's going to affect future releases. So 2.7 isn't what we should be even worried about. We should be worried about like 2.9. and beyond. Chips Donut says, my guy Walrus, can I get a sup? Sup, Chips Donut? Marcus Bullock says they probably could, though, with all that money. But the thing is, like, I think the budgeting is already done. The budgeting for Hoyoverse, like monthly expenditure on Genshin, is done. They're not going to cut more money into Genshin Impact. If there's a delay, there's a delay, unless it severely impacts their profit margins. Because think about it like this, Marcus, right? Let's think about it like this. This is what the decision have to make. What's going to lose them more money? Is it going to lose them more money if they let things just carry on and delay the patches? Or B, is it going to lose them more money to take money and fix this problem so we can remain on the current release schedule? You know what I'm saying? That's the question they are asking themselves. Which one's going to cost more? And they're going to do the one that costs less. Right? If leaving it as it is and just delay everything and take a hit in potential monthly revenue, but overall for the annual, like their quarterly revenue is still going to look good, then they're going to go with that. If taking some money right now and putting it to solve this issue, for example, pay people a little more because it's, you know, during difficult times, pay your workers a little more so they can work and come in, right, and whatnot, or however, if that's going to save them more money, they'll go with that. It's always going to end up this way. It's never going to be a situation like, what's the right thing to do? Tech otakus follows their kokoro. No, never. 100% not going to happen. Tech otakus follows the kane, the okane, which is money. Chips Donuts says chances on Kaching banner for the delay or not. I think if there is a delay, let's say there's a delay for maybe 2 weeks, half a month, right? Yeah, like a standard banner is very likely. They're just throwing up. They already did Kaching last time. They might do someone like Mona. I think Mona is too valuable though, right? So they might do something like D-Look. You know, D-Look is not as valuable as Jean and Mona nowadays. So I don't think they're going to do Chi-Chi because Chi-Chi is a huge slap to a lot of people's face in many regards. But a D-Look banner is probably more realistic. Jean and Mona is too much value, right? Jean and Mona have too much value. I think they're planning for Jean and Mona at a later date. But if they do end up delaying the next patch, a D-Look banner or a Chi-Chi banner would be what I would expect. Or no or no or it's gonna be a standard banner because I think they have everything else already scheduled out. All the limited like reruns, think Kazuha, Yoimiya, these characters probably already have their schedules mapped out. Yeah, or another Tartaglia rerun. Who would have guessed? Holy smokes! That's a curveball and a half. Mr. Worldwide making his rounds. Can you imagine if in the future they'd actually do like a DJ Tartaglia skin, and then like the banner, like the skin is like, and then like they just have Mr. Worldwide plastered like behind it, and Tartaglia is just like a in a rapper pose. Dude, I wish Hoyoverse was that in tune with the memes regarding to their characters. I wish. Like, I'm sure they know about it, but they don't want to lean into it because they're very serious, right? They want that immersion. So they're never going to go out of their way. Like Riot, the League of Legends company, is a company that might like nod their head or give a toast to a good hard meme, but Hoyoverse doesn't seem like that kind of company. child banner have a 30-second cooldown per wish. Imagine if all the limited banner characters just have like certain quirks about their banner. Like you lose 20% of your life of your HP. You lose 20% of all the money in your wallet every time you roll on a Hu Tao banner. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear about the new character Bouncing? 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 Nobody? Yona says who? Bouncing on my dick! Oh! Oh! Got him! Bouncing! Hey. Bouncing? Bow? Yo, you guys gotta. Hey, chat. Wait, actually, who's streaming right now? Who's streaming right now? We gotta do this on on a Twitch streamer. Yo, go to it can't be somebody too big because we gotta be able to take over. All right, we gotta be able to take over this stream with like spams. How many people we got? How many people we got right now? How many people? Bao Tsing. Yeah. Like, how are we gonna spell it? Is it Bao Tsing? Or like Bao Sing? 214. Alright. Bao Tsing. Alright. Bao Tsing. Oh! Yo, let's go to 1010. Yo, okay. Yo, who do you guys wanna go to? Who should we go to? 1010? Twanto, I don't think we can take over Twanto's stream, nor can we take over Anthony Chen's. No, please, no 1010. Bouncing on. I don't want to do Winnie, because Winnie is so nice. No, we gotta do it on somebody. Who's streaming Genshin right now? Who's streaming? Let's just go to somebody who's streaming Genshin. Should be Braxophone, but he's offline. Oh yeah, Brax would be perfect. Brax would be perfect for this. Or we can do somebody who we don't know. But I don't want to like harass people, you know. Oh, Rin Taicho. You guys know who Rin Taicho is? Or maybe we gotta do it on somebody that we know so we can get a reaction, you know? Damn. Who do we know? Nobody that we like really know is streaming. Man, if Flowcat were streaming, we'd do it to Flowcat. Like, Flowcat, have you heard about Bouncing? Flowcat, Bouncing is coming out. God damn it. I'm so childish. Space Stuck? Who's Space Stuck? Space Stuck? Genshin Impact? But he's playing like, is that freestyle online? Man, never mind. It was such a good opportunity. Bao Tsing is a Dendro user who bounces on enemy. Bounce. Oh, fuck. Whatever. Let's go into the account review for the day, and then we'll end with talking about Ayaka towards the end here. We'll save it for another time. How about that? We'll save it for another time. If next time if Brax is online, we'll go do it to Brax. Let's jump in game. Here's somebody that we reviewed their account in the past, and right? I believe we reviewed their account in the past, and we're coming back for like round 2. So let's see. Let's go take a look. Bam, bam. Go like that. Okay. So, this is an account we definitely looked at in the past, and I'm not so like nowadays. Definitely not not surprised to see Raiden Shogun in people's account. Yamiko, Arataki Ito, seeing Ito, Albedo, Zhongli, very well-rounded overall. Got Hu Tao, got Zhongli, of course, right? You got Albedo. So Albedo, Zhongli, Hu Tao with Xingqiu is another really solid team. I don't remember what their account was like the last time. Oh, first time. Oh, never mind. There's somebody who's due for a second review, so this is our first time. Okay. Overall, the account is really well-rounded and balanced. They don't have any characters that you know they're not making good use out of. Yeah, they like. I mean, you got all the main meta picks. Oh, you got. Wait, was that a sack sword? Was that a sack sword on Kazuha? We need to take a look at that later. AR-59, definitely a veteran player. Let's go from. Let's take a look at their Yamiko. Let's just see what. Let's take a look at what Yamiko's up to. 85, 172, 151. Oh. Yo, guys, you guys want to see an optical illusion? When I'm like, look, the weapon is spinning, right? But if I move it, it stops spinning. Look at this. You guys see that? It stops spinning. It becomes stationary when I move it. You guys see that? Ooh. Artifacts, 2-piece. 2-piece Shimanawa, 2-piece Thundering Fury. For now, it's gonna work. Guys, here's the thing about Yamiko. It's also that once she gets her dedicated artifact set, I think there's gonna be more incentive for people to run her, right? It's because that right now, let's be honest, it doesn't matter if you're C6 Yamiko or C0 Yamiko, she's mostly like an off-field and like a electro burst support, right? DPS. She facilitates damage on the team by providing electro both when she's off field and electro burst when you come on to do her burst skill, right? So that's what people want her to do, and right now I think most people find it difficult to use her because of her electro targeting and also damage. It feels a little inadequate, like a little bit inadequate at C0. So once her artifact set comes out, I hope, you know, the 4-set piece might do something for her. Like, because think about it like this. Hoyoverse can truly do whatever they want in artifact pieces. Like, they can make her elemental skill hit twice. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Hoyoverse could fix this character through her artifact piece, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it. She might just be a very, like, okay character, which it is what it is, right? In a way, it has us to blame for getting so hype and excited for this character, because it also shows Hoyoverse that the demand is there regardless of whether this character performs well. Like, they knew people are going to pull for characters, even if the characters perform like garbage, we'll still roll for it because it's so popular. Same case with the Archons, right? But thankfully, Hoyoverse has not really screwed over the Archons yet. So overall, this Yamiko is well built, but I'd imagine this artifact is going to get replaced sometime down the line if she does get her dedicated artifact. People forget one thing, Albedo. Albedo, for me, Albedo is such a good character because at the time when he was released, people even memed on his banner saying like it was the Bennett banner, right? Do you guys remember that? When Albedo first came out, it had Bennett on it, and people were like memeing, saying like, "Oh, that's not the Albedo banner, that's the Bennett banner." And Albedo, like even nowadays, some people think Albedo is like garbage. I mean, you know.
Sussy the Flowcat just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. PPL forget one thing, albedo.
I think... oh. Do you guys know that? I can change the direction that the artifacts move. Wait, why am I finding out some cool stuff? Look, it's going clockwise, and if I wanted to go anti-clockwise, huh? Yeah, but Albedo is like a solid unit overall because he has some of the laziest, easiest, like even like free to plays. Like this character is so efficient at what he does, right? This character is so efficient and so good at what he does, and now he's even got a dedicated 4-piece set. Like this character is correct. You guys don't understand. Like it's just, yeah, crystallize is not a desirable reaction. So for the most part, people end up running him like not for his reactions, right? And people kind of overlook the damage that he can put out. Like seriously overlook. And like most of the time, people don't want to admit that georesonance is just insane. Right, georesonance is like the most stacked when it comes to stat, and even him being like a support DPS, georesonance helps him immensely. It's so good, and of course, like right, Cinnabar Spindle, he has 2 R5 free to play weapons from events. Like I don't know what people have against this character and refuse to just accept that he's a very solid unit overall. Like he's not broken OP, but he's really, really good. People keep not wanting to accept that. And I think in a way, Hoyoverse was like trying to make Yai Miko in a way similar but different to what Albedo does. They wanted to add like more emphasis on burst. Right? Albedo is like the known consistent damage support DPS in the game. He's like the most consistent and very low maintenance. You drop his elemental skill, job's done. But Yai Miko, Hoyoverse try to add a twist to it. Like, oh, what if we did an Electro Albedo, but then we put a little more emphasis on the burst skill? Right? That's the idea. But the execution just kind of fell off a cliff. Power is actually more damage per character. Yeah. I know, like, they're like, of course, Geo can't be, like, the best overall pick, right? But Geo is...
Sussy Lay 7 just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Pyro Resonance is actually more DMG for characters that scale with 80k% though.
No.
But yay, GeoRes is good.
GeoRes overall is supposed to facilitate Geo teams. Like that's supposed to be what it does. It's just that nowadays, even for people who are not in Geo teams, they can still benefit quite well from it. And all the Geos, of course, benefit immensely. Man, something's in my throat. Albedo plus jungling in any team is good. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. They can get the job done, just the 2 of them. Now this was what we were talking about earlier. Why is your Xingqiu not using the sack? Wait. Interesting. Interesting. Wait, what's going on here? Superb. I was hoping to see like an iron sting on here. Let's take a look at your Kazuha's artifacts. Let's see if you've gone hard and deep enough for that. Okay, you have. You have? Can't see zero. So why not? Why not iron sting? Are you that lacking in energy recharge? Do you just want to spam his burst? Is that it? Is that why? Huh. It's fine, I guess, because the substat that you're always looking for is always energy recharge when you're running like elemental mastery. It's just like running like running an elemental mastery build. Ideally you want to push that, right? Like you can get close to like 1k. But I get it, I understand it. Like it's not like I'm not questioning saying like, oh, I don't get it, but I'm just saying like, is it not better to run an Iron Sting, which is also a free-to-play weapon? I guess that means you can never run. I mean, you could. It's just what's his energy recharge? You see, that's too low. Now Xingqiu's energy recharge is too low. Like if you're running two teams and the other team has Xingqiu in it, Xingqiu's not going to have enough energy recharge. You're going to have severe problems with keeping up with his burst skill. But it is what it is. We already looked at Albedo, but let's just take a look at this 61,118. Very good damage. It's okay. It's a decent ratio. I'm not gonna nitpick ratio because that's just nitpicking the quality of the artifacts. Overall, it's fine. This is definitely a team that that is very interesting though. Like you're relying on a lot of layering of damage, right? And of course, for downtime, Kazuha and Noel can easily fit that for the downtime, but this is the case of somebody who really wants to make Yaimiko work. You can see it. You can see it. Oh, Xingqiu had enough ER in Raiden National. Okay. I was thinking more like a Hu Tao, because you do have Hu Tao, and I was thinking more like if you were to run freeze teams. But like, yeah, Raiden National, Xingqiu would be fine. But you have Raiden. With the staff of Homa. Let's take a look at your Raiden, because these are some of the characters that have like stat. Oh! Damn. Yeah, like there's very little to nitpick at. Running Electro damage bonus cup because you're running Staff of Homa. Crit rate because you're running Staff of Homa. Energy recharge. You kind of have to, right? To get to the point where you're at. Like I'd imagine this Raiden Shogun slaps pretty hard. C0 699. Like I don't see any problems with it overall. Like with what this person has, like clearing Abyss it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Like I would imagine you've cleared the Abyss. Let's take a look. Yeah, they've cleared the Abyss. See? It's completely fine. So overall, there's like I think you have everything that's needed, right? And for people who are wondering, like, what about freeze? Because that's the thing this account doesn't really have built pretty much at all. Freeze is one of those teams that it's very efficient. If you're running a freeze team, you can be relatively low in AR and get very good effects, but it has diminishing returns. The higher you go, when it comes to resources and stuff like that, you start to realize that freeze hits their ceilings very quick, because freeze is directly involved with the character, their DPS. So for example, Ayaka freeze, Ayaka is the one dealing damage. Freeze doesn't inherently add any more damage, it makes it a better DPS environment for your DPS units. Same with if you're running Ganyu, freeze is the same deal. Freeze is not inherently adding more damage, it just gives you a better environment to deal damage. So they've reached their ceilings relatively quick. Essentially, when you get a decent set of like artifact, and you're level 90 with a 5-star weapon, you essentially hit the ceiling, right? With talents as high as you can push them. And then it's just artifact grind. Whereas it doesn't matter, like a new Hydro character comes out, new Cryo character comes out, for freeze, it doesn't matter. To freeze, the only thing that matters is application and uptime. That's like, because that directly impacts how much freeze you can get and how often you can proc the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer effect. So like for an account like this, it's almost like not beneficial to even invest in freeze because their other teams are so well built. I would say to start building vertically. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me saying that. Some characters that really could use some constellations to help you out a little bit. Depends on how much you play them, right? Hu Tao C1 is something that I would, say like, hey, if you really enjoy this character, picking it up is really good. Kazuha C2 is something that I would say if you want to push the upper limits of some teams, Kazuha C2 is really good because all elemental teams running Kazuha, you're going to get a huge boost, right? But Raiden C2 or C3 depends on how hard you want to go. These two constellations are something that can help you go a long way. Zhongli, I don't want to say it, but like Zhongli C2 is like a low tier priority constellation you can like slowly work your way to when you don't have anything else. But once you have those characters constellations, then I would start saying working on 5-star weapons. Like, listen, people, listen, chat. At this point, for people who are this deep into the game, they're AR-59. Like, getting another Ayaka ain't gonna do shit for their account, right? Like, it depends on what you prioritize. If you want to enjoy more aspects of the game, sure, get Ayaka, right? Enjoy Ayaka. Get like, I'm just saying. But if your goal is to stay ahead of the curve and like maybe be able to challenge some of the most difficult content, the event content the game has to offer, it's time to start considering investing in constellations, 5-star weapons, right? It is what it is. I don't want to sit here and oh yeah, because her weapon is on her weapon is over here. But I don't want to sit here and tell you guys that the same thing everybody else has been telling you. It's like, oh yeah, play what you want to play, enjoy what you want to enjoy. But this person's account at C0, they're pushing the limits of a lot of these characters, even with free to play or deathmatch for certain 4-star weapons. R3 Wolf's Gravestone, damn. But from what I see here, there's wow, Elegy as well. There's very little that we can do to this account in this very moment to make it any better, right? Without pulling for some, because when it comes to optimization, like look, sure, you can keep farming artifacts, but who doesn't know that, right? Who doesn't know, like, oh yeah, keep farming artifacts and you're gonna get stronger. Well, gee, thanks. But the better question is, what should they be doing for the next 4, 5, 6 months? Who should they prioritize? I think a safe bet is Raiden Shogun for sure, as all people would tell you. Ganyu C1 is pretty good. It has a huge DPS jump in comparison to other characters C1s, right? And also it can help with other cryo DPS as well. But this isn't like on the top of your list, I would say. Kazuha C2, Raiden C2, really good, and then probably Ganyu C1, and then maybe depends on who you play, Zhongli C2 or Hu Tao C1. It depends on who you want to play for these characters, right? Wait, how does he already have Xingqiu? I thought he was being delayed. But yeah, I feel like Raiden cons would make the game too easy. But like, my question to you is, would you rather HoYoverse suddenly amp up the difficulty. Because think about it like this. Do you think HoYoverse is ever going to tell us like, hey people, in 3 months, we're going to do this and bring this change? Or they're just going to do it. Like they're going to show you 2 weeks, right? We get like 1 or 2 weeks before the patch drops. Like, okay, this next patch, we're adding Abyss 13, whatever they add. Or they're adding a whole new thing. Would you rather be in that position and you're like, oh shit, right? Would you rather be in that position, or would you rather plan ahead? Like, if they do that, I'm ready. Like, if HoYoverse decides to do that, I'm ready for whatever is coming. Because as the community starts to all near towards endgame, right now it's just most of the older players and the tryhards who are like, hey, we need some endgame, we need some endgame, we need some endgame. But eventually the casuals will also reach a point where they're 36 starring the Abyss, no problem. I'm sure some casuals are doing it right now. Right? Some casuals are going into the Abyss, smashing it out of the park, and be like, okay, all right, that was cool. And let's wait for another like month and a half or 2 months for the next Abyss or something. Right? So, I'm just saying, right? Overall, it's best to plan for the future if you want, like, if you love these characters, right? For example, if you absolutely love to play Ganyu and she's like the best character for you, getting her C1 is a great overall because it's percentage as well. Let me just turn off chat here for people who don't. Oh, that's me. For people who don't remember, it's a percentage shred. These things are always nice, right? So if you hit her with a if you hit enemies with a charge attack arrow, that's a 15% cryo resistance, right? The reduction for 6 seconds, which makes subsequent arrows really good for value. And also a hit also regenerates 2 energy for Ganyu. It just helps her more with her uptime, right? So it has 2 effects. It has great overall value. It puts less emphasis on your energy recharge for your already Ganyu only requires 60 cost for her burst skill for like 15 seconds, duration 15, CD 15, 60 seconds. With C1, this burst is 100% up almost all the time. Like all the time. You'll have her burst ready. A really good constellation for relatively cheap. Like, I'm probably, Ganyu C1 is something I am considering picking up next time she comes around. Maybe. Right? So, really good value there. Apart from that, I can't, oh, wait. Yeah, and C6 Sara, right? If you're playing Raiden teams a lot, C6 Sara with a C2 Kazuha, come on, right? Like, can you, like, come on. So, like a C2 Kazuha, even C0 Raiden with a C6 Sara with a C2 Kazuha, like you're blowing things out of the water. I understand, like constellations might not be like, constellations, but eventually HoYoverse has to increase the difficulty of the game. And I just like to tell people, investing vertically, like in bits and pieces. I'm not saying like, oh, from now on, don't pull any new characters, only get I'm not saying that. I'm saying look to certain characters that you want to build vertically and wait patiently for their rerun and start planning for them, getting ready for them. Right? Kazuha is coming back. Maybe this time you're going to like, okay, you know what? I'm going to let Kazuha slide because I want something else. That's fine. That's completely fine. You're cruising through this game right now, right? So what I'm saying is, you have to be on the lookout, though. You need a strict plan for constellations that you want to eventually be invested in. Because are you going to tell me you're going to quit this game without ever even getting a single constellation for any of your 5 stars? Like, well, I guess, okay, this is not by choice, obviously. Not by choice. But it's going to happen one day, right? You're going to want to. So I'm just telling you some of the characters that have really good yield for constellation. This guy really likes Yaimiko. I guess it makes sense. Your name is Lightning MCK. Which I'm gonna assume MCK stands for something. But I understand. But I'm not out here trying to be a meta slave or anything. I'm just saying like C2 Miko is very like mid in comparison to some other C2 characters. And of course, I'm sure you know that as well. I see the team that you're running. You're just playing the game however you enjoy it. But for an account review, I'm trying to provide value, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here when I'm giving you an account review. It's like, dude, go for C6 Yai Miko, best thing in the world. Like, amazing. Like, of course you would do that if you could. Let's say if you were like a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, I'm sure you would have C6 Miko. Like, of course, like that's not the point, right, of these account reviews. The account reviews is value, direction, right? Overall, taking a look at your account and see like what you've been working on. So I'm just saying, if let's say if you want to power up Miko even more, make her even stronger. C2 Kazuha, C6 Kujosara, right? If your goal is to make Yai Miko as humanly strong as possible, C6 Sara, C2 Kazuha is going to be really, really good. And swap out Albedo here for Bennett. Swap out Noelle for what's her name again? Sara. And you got a C2 Kazuha. And for weapon, get that weapon. What's that weapon called? Oath Sworn or something? And listen, getting a C6 Sara helps your Raiden as well. Getting a C2 Kazuha helps every elemental damage unit. Right? So if the goal is to power up Miko, right? That's the answer. Goldfang Sniper, thanks for the 199. Says, I want to see aggressive enemies than slow ones. You mean like
Dusty
fast, right?
Goldfang Sniper just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. I want to see aggressive enemies than slow ones.
Are you saying you want to see more like Elden Ring type enemies? Right? If you want to see more Elden Ring type enemies, okay. Yeah, because I understand. Right now, I don't feel threat in the overworld. For the most part, I don't feel much threat. I feel more threat from having to do a puzzle than the enemies. Honestly, that's how I feel. I feel like I want enemies in the overworld to somewhat make me like enjoy the battle, right? I feel like I want the overworld to feel like an actual adventure, like be careful what you do, like stuff like that. And I guess in a way I'm just trying to say I want to make my characters feel like the power they have is worth it, right? Puzzles, that's the real PTSD. Like, I can't even tell you guys how many dozens of hours I've wasted on single puzzles. It's insane. Like the amount of I swear at one point I almost broke my monitor from how frustrating it was to do a puzzle. Like, holy smokes, it's not even funny how frustrating. Like, it's not even fun at that point. It's just frustrating. I can't stand it. All right. Like, Corporate Gaming said, I don't see the puzzle here, never seen a hard one in this game. Then again, I came to it after playing Zelda Breath of the Wild after seeing the similarities. Yeah. Like, I'm not a puzzle person. I've never enjoyed puzzles. Like, even in real life, I don't enjoy puzzles. I've never even been to an escape room. Like, I don't... Like, I like to Oonga Boonga as opposed to, like, play the mind game. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people can sit there, figure out a puzzle, and really enjoy the process of that challenging, brain rattling process. But for me, I want to play games through muscle memory. I play a lot of games through repetition. I like grinding. I can deal with grindy games, right? I can sit here mindlessly, slaughter enemies for 8 hours. I'm sure most people can't handle that. Like, if I had the time, I could sit here and kill Hilichurls, Metatrolls, whatever, for 8 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, non-stop. And I would have no problem with it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, whoa, that's kind of fucked up. Like, bro, you got problems, dude. But I'm just saying, like, but when it comes to puzzles, because I have to think, I feel like I'm... Okay, let me confess something to you guys. I love multitasking. I love playing games while watching a TV show. I love playing 2 games at the same time sometimes if I could do it. Because I guess I have a sense, I don't know if any of you guys have this, I have a sense that time is always slipping away. Like, I don't know if you guys feel this. I guess it starts happening when you get into your 60s, right? Like, in my late 50s now, getting into my 60s, it just feels like time is slipping away. Maybe that's why. Like, I don't enjoy things that require my full attention. So I end up trying to do things, many things, at the same time. Like, maybe that's why I don't enjoy it, because puzzles can make me sink. Like, think about it like this, people. I have like 3 hours a day, 3 hours something, give or take, to play video games a day. And each puzzle can take me up to like 2-3 hours easily. Even simple puzzles can take me like somewhere between 20 minutes to an hour of my time. Right? So, come on. Like, am I gonna sit, like, imagine a gaming session for me where it's just 3 puzzles and I'm done. Like, that's it. That's my gaming session. Is that enjoyable? Like, how much progress did I really get? So, yeah, I'm a boomer. Grandpa Walrus. Yeah, I'm just saying, right? I don't enjoy that process of the game. I don't enjoy it. He's 35, maybe. I could push it to 40 max, but there's no chance in hell you're gonna make me believe Walrus is over 40. No way. Well, I'll take the flattery. I'm flattered. I get people telling me this all the time when I'm out and about working. It was like, oh, like, how many years have you done real estate? Like, oh, about like, 30. They're like, excuse me? Excuse me? What'd you say? How many years? I swear you just said like 30. Like, yeah, 30. 30 years of experience. Yeah. Of course. And they're like, you're capping. Let me see your driver's license. Do people ask you for your ID? Yeah, sometimes, but not for the most part. They don't ask anymore. Man has been a realtor since he was 5. Yeah. Chasm puzzles are super easy. And I feel, okay, listen, this is what I think, right? Kawataros, they've made them easier on purpose. No cap. They've made the chasm puzzles easier because they realized people weren't engaging with the Inazuma puzzles enough. Like, listen, no cap, I swear to God, 80% of the player base don't even do the puzzles themselves. They literally just go on YouTube and look for the solution themselves. Like, and I'm sure Hoyoverse can see that. Right? So it's like, what's the point of designing something that the player base actively seek to like go around? There's no point. Like, what's the point? Like, they're just gating the content and they're gating the reward where people can just one Google search and get it. So like, they're making the puzzles a little bit easier, like less time consuming. Right? Like, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Name is Blobs' bro. I thought he was in his 20s. Nah, bro. Like, dude, when I was in my 20s, Michael Jordan was still like in the league. And I was that person looking up the puzzles. And yeah, there's no problem because nobody wants to sit there and spend hours of their time figuring something out when they really aren't there to play the puzzle. They're there to get the reward, right? The Asian cap. That's what people say to me as well. But I'm always really flattered. You guys should see how young my parents look. My parents don't look a day over the age of 65. I swear. They don't look any older than 65, but they're nearing their 80s. Asian genes. Up top, brother. Up top. Kiss Up Holler says, how are you? I'm doing good. I feel great. But yeah, how old are you? I can't tell you that, but I'm somewhere above 50, but below 60. Lived a long life. I'm halfway there, people. I'm halfway there. I'm halfway. Xander Kai is the same with my family. My mom is 70, looks 45 to 50. I'm 26 and I look like I'm 12. Exactly. Like I remember when I was in my 20s. Yeah, like I was struggling to even talk to girls in college because they keep thinking I'm like some like middle school student who's like here like on like on a school trip or something like that. It was weird and bizarre. Like it was so difficult for me to talk with the opposite gender. I couldn't connect with them. I straight up looked like I was in middle school. People probably thought I was part of a social experiment. It sucks, man. Like I'm telling you, it like people if you guys don't go through what I've been through, like what people like myself have been through, you don't know how difficult it is to look like 10, 20 years younger than you actually are. It's very problematic for the most part. See? Look, chat, I'm not capping. There are other Asians now in chat stepping up saying Thin Nguyen Kwang is saying Asian here. I'm not 30s yet. People think I'm still in high school. Exactly. That's the Asian genes. And when you take these kind of Asian genes to the extreme, you end up with this scenario. I'm older than Atsu. Let's just put it that way. Atsu is 53, right? I'm older than Atsu. I'll give you guys that. I'm older than Atsu. The Flowcat says, I feel it, dude. I used to teach and got mistaken for a student once. Like, it's so awkward. Like, how...
Sussy the Flowcat just applied wet status. Dude. Damn, that's hot. I feel it, dude. I used to teach and got mistaken for a student once, LMAO.
Dude, you guys don't know? Atsu is 53. Yo, I gotta get Atsu on stream one of these days to talk about the amazing, the beautiful science behind Asian genetics. Yeah. So, I'm just telling you guys. All right, I'm just telling you guys. Maybe by the time I reach my 100. Let's not say 100. Maybe by the time I retire, which is like very soon. Well, I say very soon, but I still have over a decade to go, maybe, give or take. But hey, almost there. Lay 7 says, but yeah, I'm over here 22 years old, but people think I'm in my 30s. No, but Lay 7, think about it like this, right? If you are looking older for that age bracket, like, because a big problem most people have when they graduate is that people don't take you seriously. You know what I mean? I don't know, Lay, if you've been through this, but like they think you're inexperienced.
Damn, that's hot. But yet I'm over here 22 years old, but PPL think I'm in my 30s, lol.
Like that's an advantage that people who look older can weaponize. Of course, if people ask you like, "Hey, how old are you?" You're not gonna say I'm in my 30s, but you can use that more mature look to approach people and close some deals or like get some things done without the prejudice of them thinking. I'm saying prejudice, but it's not really prejudice. Without like them thinking you're young and naive and inexperienced, so they don't want to use you, right? If you're working in that kind of business for like working with clients, like private one-on-one clients and stuff like that. Abby Bird, wait, how old are you? I'm north of 50, south of 60. All right, that's what I tell people. I can't give away my specific age, but yes, maybe it's the camera. Maybe the camera is like making my face look kind of smooth, but yeah, I'm north 50, south of 60, and I'm older than Atsu. All right. The HV case, I refuse to believe that. You know, one of these days I'll find a way. I'll find a way to convince you guys. Maybe I'll maybe I'll cross out the things on my birth certificate and then like print it and just leave the date of birth for you guys. And my photo. Are you an immortal Archon? Don't worry, people. I'm gonna start aging once I pass 60 something. You see, people, look. Kisa Pollard is saying my niece's father is Asian. She's 20 and I'm 23, and people think she's my child. She gets very annoyed by that, especially when she went to vote. I'm telling you, right? I'm just some Asians be looking way younger than they actually are.
Fang Sniper just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. We men age like wine. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah, like even now, people think I'm in my 20s and 30s. Like no kidding. I worked with a client, like just earlier this year. Right? I worked with a client and they could not believe, like the conversation came up. They're like, "Oh, like how long have you been doing real estate?" I just told you this. That guy's like, "Oh, like 30 years or something," right? And she was like, "No, like you're not about to sit here and convince me you've been doing real estate since like what? Since you were 4?" Because she thought I was in my late 20s. And I was like, "Oh no, like because she was a client that was recommended to me, right?" So I was like, "Oh, did X and X not tell you?" Like she like, "Tell me what?" Like yeah, I'm like 50 something, and she was like, "No fucking way!" She's like, "Shut up!" I was like, yeah, like nice to meet you. She was like, "Oh shit!" So I was like, yeah, I've been in the business for a very long time. So I was like, okay, happens all the time. Yeah. So I can go to a liquor store and like they would like, not gonna lie. When I was in my 20s, I've had times when I went to the liquor store, got ID'd, and then they didn't believe me. They thought I forged it. Right? They thought I forged it. So listen, people. They thought I forged the ID, and then I had to. They held me in the store. No cap. They held me in the store, and I had to wait until the cops show up. So, and then the cops had to properly like go through the procedures, ID me. I almost got detained, but like, listen, like this is like way like over top. Like this is not forged. I'm legit. What do you want? Like, do I need to provide a second piece of ID? And then they're like, no, it's good. Like, this is legit. Like, and I was like, so yeah, just let me go then. So, man, I guess this is a blessing and a curse, right? This is a blessing and a curse. In many ways, I'm thankful for looking much younger than I actually am, but for the most part, it has been a curse. It has been a curse. It was very difficult doing real estate. I mean, even nowadays, when people see me, they don't think I look qualified, or they don't think I have enough experience in real estate. But You know, I got 30 years locked and loaded, ready to go. But they think like I have no more than like couple years of experience. Yeah, like look at Venti. Who took Venti seriously? Like who takes Venti seriously? Granted, a large reason for Venti to be treated like he is also because he's an irresponsible alcoholic. But for the most part, he looks like a kid, right? Like who's gonna take this person seriously? Marcus Bullock says, "I think it's your voice. That's why people can't take you seriously." Probably. I've had people tell me I have a voice of a comedian, right? Like, you know, those comedians, they have that distinct voice. It's the voice. It's in the voice, right? So, I guess maybe I should transition my content. Like maybe I should just go make satire, like comedy, Genshin content, like commentary, satirical Genshin content. Maybe. Hey, no kidding. Maybe it's time to experiment with something new, right? Weaponize what I have here. This is what happens if you don't smoke. Yeah, I don't smoke. I don't drink. Those are like the two things I don't do. No smoking, no drinking, and of course, no drugs. And I'm scared of needles, so I can't even get like implants or whatever you call them, like fillings or. I'm deathly scared of needles. Listen, I had to get my girlfriend to bribe me, like with hard cash, to go get vaccinated. I was willing to stay at home and not go out for like 2 years. Just because I was so scared of needles. I was like, hey, I know I will be a detriment to society if I don't get vaccinated. How about I just stay at home and don't go out? And she's like, well, I have to go out, so you're gonna be at risk anyways. So why don't you just get the damn vaccine? I was like, nope, you're gonna have to call like a freaking SWAT team to drag me to get this. And then she ended up bribing me with money. Sure, man, that works. But I'm deathly scared of needles. I don't know how much emphasis I can put on this. I'm really, really scared of needles. I have it's a phobia. Like it's to the point where I can call it a phobia. Right? So wear a blind cast? No. Like once I know it's gonna happen, I'm done. Like my palms just like I can do this and you can start seeing sweat drip from my palm just like this. It'll like it's insane. You can't feel the needles anyway, bro. I don't know what kind of needles they've been stabbing you with, but over here, hey, look away or don't look. Yeah. Nowadays, I like when I went this time, I just like grabbed on to my girlfriend's hand so hard that it almost broke her hand. Like, yo, I like. She was like, yo, chill with the grab. Like I was so nervous. I can't. Just talking about it, I feel like right now, just talking about getting the shot, I feel like my throat is drying up. My palms are starting to get sweaty. I can't. Girlfriend in the late 50s? Nah. Come on, people. Like, I've decided to stay unmarried. All right, I've decided to stay unmarried mainly because, you know, when how should I put it like this? When you live a life that's as whatever as myself, you know, I think it's irresponsible to force somebody else who wants to live this lifestyle. I mean, look at it like this. I'm a guy in his 50s playing a game full of 2D waifus and husbandos, and like, what kind of 50-year-old self-respectable lady will want to spend their time with me? Right? So, I don't connect with people my age. Let's just put it that way, right? I struggle with connecting with anybody that's north of like 35, 36 years old. It's very difficult for me. So, and I haven't met too many 50-some-year-old weeaboos. They're like a dying breed, or like they're a rare breed. It's like finding a shiny Pokemon, right? You maybe go outside, go through the tall grass, like, oh my god, look, it's a 50-year-old weeb. Finally, after thousands of patches of grass, it's so like most of the time, I just connect with people online. Right? I just connect with people online. They don't know my age. They don't know what the fuck I do for a living. They don't know who the hell I am. They don't know my like motives and stuff. We just talk and share our interests for games. So I'm just saying, right? Out here enjoying life. I only got some like what 30, 40 years to go. Atsu is married though. I mean, Atsu is a man of strict beliefs, right? Like his like got to go chat. See you next time, Lay. Don't worry, man. I'll see you around. We're about to finish up here as well. But yeah. That's your girlfriend you met from gaming? No. I met her.
That's hot.
I met her
see ya next time.
I met her in Japan. True story. Met her in Japan. She was working there. Met her at a hotel that she was working at. You know, got her number. She was like, oh, you know, I was like, oh yeah. If you ever, you know, like she's like, oh no, I got. And I was like, oh my god, really? Like, no, you should hit me up. Like, okay. Turned out, she was just there to see her parents, and in the meantime, she was like picking up some work. So she actually lives in Canada. Who would have thought, right? Hey, it's a perfect love story. And you know, sure enough, after she came back to Canada, we got in contact and we started, you know, talking, and things worked out. Yeah, dating is hard. Not gonna lie, I've been on some dating apps. It was definitely tough. Tough at times, right? Straight up, people don't want to date a child. And hey, people, is it weird for a 50-something-year-old to match with like someone like in their late 20s? It's weird, right? Come on, guys, don't be nice. Just say it. It's fucking weird, right? So of course it's weird for me. So it's awkward, right? It's freaking awkward. Can you guys imagine how awkward that is? Like, can you guys imagine how awkward that conversation must be? It's like, oh my god, like, so what do you do? Like, oh, I do this. Like, oh, like, how long have you been doing it? 30 years? You're like, what? What? 30, so like you've been doing this since you were 4? Like, no, I've been doing this in my 20s. So wait, you're like you're like 50? Like, yes. And then the whole conversation just starts over, and I have to explain myself. And usually it's like a good icebreaker, but usually they're just like, "Oh, you know, tonight, like it's been a great date. I really enjoyed you, and you know, your company, right?" And in the beginning, we were very open, and by the end, she kind of sees me as an uncle. You know, right? It's that like in the beginning, things like you felt like you had a chance, and by the end, it just feels like she's talking to you through a peephole. That kind of deal.
Gold Fang Sniper just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. We're weebs until we're 6 feet under.
I mean, Marcus Bullock is like, don't women want a guy who's older than them most of the time? Like, yeah, but they don't want a guy who's like already picking out their coffin. You know what I'm like? You don't want they want an older man, but they don't want somebody who's frequenting like Hu Tao's funeral parlor. It's like, dude, Is that why you main Hu Tao? Yeah. I feel a connection there, right? I feel like maybe if I treat her nicely, there's gonna come a time when I get a better discount, or hell, maybe for free, girl. Hey, I got you C1 and Staff of Homa. How about that? Zeno Xavier's like, the man being much older is okay only if he's a rich sugar daddy. Okay, I'm gonna stand up and turn around, and you tell me, because this is roughly what I wear to my dates. You tell me if you think I'm a sugar daddy. All right, watch this. Watch this, chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, please type in chat what you think my annual wage is if I dress like this and walk up to you. Lopez has $4 annual wage. Yo, that's what I'm saying, right? I be giving severe mixed signals to these people. I ain't sugaring shit, right? I'm telling you guys right now, because first impressions mean a lot, but I'm at the point in my life where I can't give less fucks. So I end up just going out, doing whatever I want, however I want, and the women that I meet most of the time, you know, they're of a younger generation. What can I say? What can I say? They're of a younger generation. They're like millennials, right? Or like Gen Z. So I'm telling you, they're different, and there's definitely a generation gap. All right, let's be honest. What brand of walker do you use? No, I'm not that old. All right, I'm not that old. I look fine, but I don't put a lot of emphasis on my looks. Right. What are the differences between women from previous gen and the younger gen? All right, listen up, people. Women from like my generation, they're usually more attentive. I guess like with all women, when they get to a certain age, they care a little more. For the most part, they have a better attention span. I guess that's like everyone, not just women. Like they have a better attention span. I'm telling you right now, like they can hold a conversation longer. They can like pick out the details more. You can have a much deeper conversation, and you can talk about more aspect of life, as opposed to younger women who usually haven't been through enough themselves, and they don't really care. Like, and a lot of them have been through so like a lot as well, and they're hurt, but they don't want to be hurt again, so they're very distant. Whereas older women feel like they can be more vulnerable, but at the same time, they're very sharp. All right, I'm telling you guys right now, for people who have parents over the age of 50, like they know more than you think they know. It's very valuable every once in a while to just sit down and listen to what they have to say. All right, older women, men not necessarily, but women, they usually have been through quite a bit, right? The women of my generation have been through a lot, right? For the most part. So it's very interesting sometimes to listen to their stories, and they can be very vulnerable for the most part. But younger women, they're much more like bubbly. They're like most of the time all over the place. When they're happy, they're very happy. When they're very extreme, they have less control over their emotions. They're much more out there. All right, millennials are quite paranoid I would say. Gen Z, like, I swear most of them have ADHD. They struggle with focusing. They can't stay on one conversation. They'll jump around and like they'll just talk about everything. Like, you can sit down with a Gen Z and you can talk about 20 different things in 10 minutes. Millennials, a little less so, but for the most part, they can jump around a little bit as well. The older people, you can probably you'll be lucky to get through like 3 to 5 different topics in the same time span. That's what it is. That's the difference, people. But that's all the time I got for today. If you guys enjoy this kind of like, I guess this is just a chatting stream now, right? So this is just a chatting stream now. But like overall, this account is very solid. Like I said, the only advice I would personally give is considering who you like more. And I see you really enjoy Yamiko. You heavily invested into Yamiko. So ways you can make her stronger is definitely focus on supports. Supports like Kazuha, supports like I said with Sarah are really good. Slowly work your way up. Albedo, not really so much. I guess you said this is the exploration team. It makes sense, of course. Not gonna really pick on that, but yeah, constellations are probably gonna be overall more valuable for this account going forward, as opposed to getting new characters. Because let's be honest, new characters haven't really proven themselves to be very valuable for the most part. Moonlight says, Walrus, can I get a second review of my account? Sure, but oh, Hanna, woo. What's up, girl? Look, this is Hanna. This is Hanna. Hanna, say hello. Very good. Very good. Okay, go play. Go play. Good girl, good girl. Okay. Is Michi also here? Michi, I think, is somewhere else. Michi, I think, is in the other room. But, yeah. Overall, that's going to be that. Thank you for the opportunity to review this account. Thank you for people tuning in on a busy Saturday. Oh, Hanna is back. All right, Hanna, you want to do the outro with me? Oh, she just wants my shoulder. Okay. She just wants my shoulders. So yeah, thank you. Thank you to people who tuned in. Let's answer some questions. How much ER we really need on Raiden with catch? Raiden with catch at 240, 260 is good. 240 to 260 is good already. Walrus, did you ever want to have kids? I mean, I wouldn't mind it if I find the right person and I'm in the right conditions to have kids, but you know, it's not something that I'm too how should I put this? I'm not like too bogged down by it. Pre is asking, would you recommend Ayaka if I have Ganyu? That depends on what you have right now. Right? Let's say if you just have Ganyu, and you have no characters that work well with Ayaka, I suggest stick with Ganyu. But if you already have Kazuha, you have Shenhe, you have, you know, a well-built Xingqiu, you have like all these characters ready, I would say picking up an Ayaka is really good. Ayaka, overall, in the current game state, has higher DPS than Ganyu, just because of her burst skill. Person with the name is that, can I get an account review? Make sure to DM me. If you DM me in Discord, we can schedule something. Tiosu says, if you have Hana, you don't need kids. That's true. That's why I have cats, right? Cats, these are fur babies. Oh, no, no. IML says, I'll like an account review for sure. I'll DM you. For now, account reviews through DMs are only for channel members. So like that's one of the special perks for channel members is like I'll hop on their account on stream and I'll look through it. But you can apply through the Discord. I do that every now and then. I'll go to Discord and maybe I'll reach out to some people for account reviews. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna be heading out here. You know, I'm old. I gotta go do my crossword puzzles and you know, go yell at kids on my lawn and yeah, put on my reading glasses and what other shit that old people do. And fall asleep while watching movies midway. All right, peace, people. Bye.